Hello everyone, Steve Elliott here again. I'm here with another painting in Procreate. This one is about a musician friend of mine. His name's Kev Andrews. He's an absolutely awesome guitarist. Plays jazz, flamenco, classical. He's got his own style. He really is a special musician. So I've been wanting to do this painting of him for quite a long while. At this actual venue, he was playing at a place called the Apiary in Castle Donington in the UK. If you are fans of Download Festival, you'll probably know of Castle Donington. That's the home of Download. So the Apiary is a little cafe bar in Castle Donington, right in the centre of it, and it's an absolutely awesome music venue. They have acts on a couple of times a week, at the weekend, sometimes in the week. It really is a very intimate little place, really cool place to go. For those of you that have been following this series of digital painting, you'll probably know that I use a sort of a blues tune as the backing track. I felt I needed to change that for this one because Kev is an excellent jazz guitarist, and I wanted to put a jazz theme behind it, or a jazz tune, sort of get that kind of mood of what it was like to be in the Apiary that night when he was gigging there. So that's why I've chosen this piece. I felt it fit the mood a little bit better than the blues. I took this photo of Kev at the Apiary, and I took several photos of him actually. I've been wanting to do this painting for ages and ages, and finally got round to it. I'm loving this digital painting game. It's very, very different to traditional painting. In some ways it's exactly the same, but there are techniques that you can use that does make the job easier, I have to say that. So for example, in this painting I'm dispensing with the sketching. I'm not doing any sketching at all. I'm just going straight in with the painting. And the reason I'm doing that is I know if I get something slightly in the wrong place, I can move it or change the scale of it slightly using the lasso tools to sort of select an object and move it. So I don't have to be accurate with drawing. If I was painting this traditionally, I would definitely sketch it out first, because I wouldn't want the hassle of, say, putting the head in the wrong place and then having to repaint it all. And that's exactly what happened in this painting, but I was just able to move it, which is absolutely great. So that is definitely a big plus for traditional for digital painting over traditional painting, because I've dispensed with an old stage of the work. So no longer am I spending considerable amount of time sketching something out. I can just get straight in with the colour, and as you see with this one, I put in a ground of green. The reason I did that was I knew I was going for sort of an overall colour of warm pinks and purples over the painting. So green's complementary to red, which is obviously where pink derives from. So that's why I've gone for the green ground. Again, by getting that on there first, I can use it to knock back the tone. So instead of working on a white canvas, I've actually got sort of a mid-tone, so I can judge my lights and darks much better. For those of you that are interested in making videos, you'll notice that I'm not using the inbuilt recording feature of Procreate. I'm actually using the iOS 11 feature to record the whole screen. So I've been able to show you that I've got a split screen here with the photograph that I'm working from on the left hand side of the screen, and the actual Procreate apps on the right hand side, and that way you get to see when I zoom in on the screen and do the detail. In the last video I felt that I just couldn't zoom in on the detail for you to see exactly how I painted it, so I thought I'm going to use the Apple recording feature that's now built into the iPad. I hadn't used that. I'd used it once before, but then stopped using it because when it first came out it was a bit buggy, and I would do chunks of painting and it wouldn't record, but it seems to have been sorted out with further releases, and I've actually made a video to show you how you can use that, so I'll put a link above to that video. I think it's worth pointing out that the focal point of this painting is the face and also the hands and the headstock of the guitar. I've used those to sort of add movement and sort of drama into the painting, and everything else I'm not bothered about. I've concentrated solely on those two things, and that's where all the attention to the detail has gone in. Everywhere else I've sort of finished that area of the painting. All of the background is clothing. I finished that really early on, within the first 10-15 minutes of the painting, and then forgot about it. And notice the colours of the clothes don't represent the photograph. I've used my imagination, I guess, to change the tonal aspect of the colours of the shirts and his jeans and the background. I've kept it loosely to the right colours, but it's the face that is obviously important, and the hands and the headstock of the guitar. The rest are almost just abstract scribblings with the brush, putting on very thick, not thick, broad strokes that are just sort of dabbed on and scrubbed out really. So you don't have to put detail in all of the painting. I've said this before, but it's true. The eye, or the person looking at the painting, will use his imagination to put in the rest of the detail. So just concentrate on the important parts, so your eyes are drawn to that part of the painting, and just let the rest take care of itself. And even though I've said that the hands are an important part of the painting and I put detail into the hands, you'll notice the right hand I haven't really. I've sort of been very loose and used broad brush strokes to indicate movement, almost like a blurring effect that you would get in a photograph to suggest movement, because his hand was sort of thrashing the guitar, moving very, very quickly, playing some nice jazz riffs. So I wanted to again sort of give the impression of movement, that he wasn't just sort of static and that hand was really going for it. So that's why the right hand has got a blurred look about it. I seem to have found two brushes that I really like when I'm doing an oil painting, and that is the Turpentine brush and the oil brush, and the whole painting has been done just using those two brushes. I think on the smudge tool I've set that up with the Turpentine brush. So I begin the painting with the Turpentine brush. Opacity is set fairly low, so it sort of emulates a very thin layer of paint, and you can see I've sort of scrubbed it in and gone for a very, very loose impression over the whole of the painting. And then when I get to start putting the detail in, I switch to the oil brush, and then if I want to sort of put glazes over that, for example where I did the lettering, I painted the lettering, then used a glaze with a Turpentine brush to soften it back again. So that's the sort of technique I'm working on. I've only ever really got 3 layers going at any one time. The base layer is the green. I put that on, lock the layer, and then forget about it. and then I start a new layer, and that's where the main painting goes on. If at any time I want to put in a bit of detail and not disturb the painting beneath, I will create another layer, start painting into that, but as soon as I'm happy with it, I merge those two layers together. So all the time I'm merging layers together to keep it to an absolute minimum, because I am working with fairly big files, and in some cases in Procreate the file's so big I can only create 4 layers anyway. I think this one's about 24 inches by 16 at 300 dpi, so I can actually create a few more than 4 layers, but not too many more. And that's how I like to work. I like to have massive files so I can print big posters. I like that feature, so if I'm doing a painting for somebody, I can give them an option of having a nice print that can be framed, and then a poster as a package. So I'm always working with big files and very few layers. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, a big thumbs up would mean a lot, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, because I have lots more videos like this coming up and I'd love to share them with you. See you in the next one, guys. Take care.